What is this? There's just not, it doesn't make any sense. Teaching kids to grow up sick and scared is not the right way. Who, why, when, and what does it matter? If we could just accept and love people rather than judge and force our opinions on others. Why can't we just say, if you would like to get that, I accept you. You can do that. But as long as I still have my freedom and my right, as long as I can walk in this world without restriction, as long as I'm not hurting anyone, why does anybody's judgment upon another matter besides separation? How do we become unified? How do we teach children unity by division? We're all just kids. We all want to just play together. We don't care what we look like, what we smell like. We enjoy each other's company because it's fun and it's good and happy and awesome to be together, not to be separated. Are we fighting for children that don't understand what's actually happening? For innocence, for the abused, for those that don't have a voice? Are we arguing and bickering about things that matter or things that are being pushed on us? What's more important, whether you believe in getting a shot or whether the psychological long-term damage it may cause a child's brain if from a young age they were taught to fear their environment? Is it more important to control nature by going around and deciding to scrub all of our natural defenses off of our bodies, to feed toxic waste to our children and ourselves, to put lotions and deodorants and shampoos on our bodies that are also chemical and toxic? Are we doing this because we're consciously aware of what health is? Do we believe in the pyramid scheme that we were taught what to eat? What is a proper diet? And what is it that makes a human healthy? Why is it that we're so sick? Why is it that if there's a ickness going around that is so dangerous, wouldn't it makes sense that nature is running its course? When you have a ickness, the best thing is to let nature run its course. If you are healthy and your defense system is built and you actually have germs on your body and you're not scrubbing them all off and completely becoming a sterile, susceptible human to your environment, you are walking into a dimension when you are covered in alcohol, soap, and also your mental, because you got to understand everything is mind, body, and spirit. So if your mind is in fear and it doesn't even have awareness or knowledge of how to control this environment, but it's only taking in what the program has fed it from its external reality, can you understand how that program isn't actually teaching you how to navigate your experience? It's teaching you how to navigate the program that you're being fed. So your actual natural environment is to have your environment on you so you can blend in. So all the billions of bacteria and germs that exist regardless of our cooperation, allow them to exist with you and less sickness would happen. Eat foods that actually support a healthy gut. 90% of our problem is our gut. We're feeding ourselves so much toxins that we are toxic. We're the toxic waste, not the environment, not the bacteria, not any of that. It's us. We're the foreign object because we're bubble boys or bubble girls, or we're walking around covered in this odd, non-organic material that the environment is reacting to, whether it's oxygen or touching reality. You're not blending in, so it's trying to connect with you, and we're not connecting because we're blocking it with fear. We're blocking it. We're resisting the environment. We're resisting natural order. The balance of things is so important. We're teaching our beautiful next generation of children that fear is okay, to roll over and comply, do what you're told, go to this indoctrination camp where you have to wear this covering all day, which looks terrifying if you're 5 or 6 or 8 or 10 years old. It's strange. It's awkward. It's not natural. We already wear these odd clothes. You know what I'm saying? We're already covering ourselves up. We're already scrubbing our environment off of us. We're cutting our hair, boys' hair off. And, we're teaching our kids that their organic self is unnatural and it needs to change. And that's where this disconnection is. How are we raising our children, and how have we been raised, and our parents before us, and then their parents before them? How many generations does this go back where we are the toxic waste of society? How do we reverse this and attempt to not cause psychological damage to the children? Firstly, psychological damage. We can't teach these children that their natural state is unhealthy. We have to allow kids to go outside with their shoes off. We have to allow kids to play and explore and touch their environment. Little babies don't lick nasty things for no reason. That's an instinct. It's there for a reason. It's not because it's meant to kill them. It's meant to teach them something or to gain some part of their environment so that they become stronger. This goes for hands. Our hands touch everything. That's a very common fact. And when we're constantly scrubbing every single piece of dirt off to where we don't even have a piece of bacteria on our hands, I'm seeing that commercial or whatever they play where you scrub and scrub and scrub, and they show you like a microscope, and they're like, this soap does this and this soap does that. And they're like, this one leaves 2 pieces of bacteria and this one leaves 12. What if we need that bacteria? And what if we were covered in more bacteria? We would be healthier. Now, before you think I'm crazy, there is absolutely studies on this that before the 1960s, when they started spraying all of our food with pesticides, the food used to grow with weeds that had fungus and bacteria in it that actually supported and went into our bodies and supported our nutritional gut health, which is a huge 50+ foot intestinal tract that we need to dispose of waste. We have all these different organs that work together to keep us going. There's a conscious part of our being that we need to be aware of and to actively seek out health and nutrition. And then there's a subconscious part of us that naturally just take care of us, like breathing or going to the restroom. You don't have to consciously think, I need to pee. That's just, we've been trained, walk to the toilet and go pee. But really, your body just would go pee regardless of you participating or not. If you're sick, you actually have an army that activates itself to fight, right? The whole point of survival of the fittest is to keep healthy, strong species alive. It's not to hurt, harm, or to say that in an unloving way that the weak get disposed of. It's not a negative thing. It's to say that we're living in a society where we are actually putting on a pedestal weak, insufficient, unhealthy genetics on a pedestal, and we're putting healthy and high functioning genetics on down here. So the scales are like this. We're curing and we're just fighting natural order. We're pushing and resisting all of nature's perfection. And our beautiful, innocent little children are just watching and learning. That's all they do. They monkey see, monkey do everything. And what we're teaching them is to fear everything. Like everything. Everything's dirty. Everything is bad for you. Which, if we're talking about all the fake food that we're eating, that's bad for you. But we're teaching kids that it's healthier to eat dairy and sugar, which is like grains, which is 89% of the grocery store, right? Sugar and wheat products, which is why we have so much gluten allergies and ADHD and all. We're having so many illnesses, mental, physical, and spiritual, because we're feeding our lower vibrational selves all it takes to survive, not what it takes to thrive. And they're learning also that, when you go to school, you stand in line, you sit at your desk, you don't talk, you write repetitively all day long until it breaks your spirit and you don't fight anymore. Because little children hate repetition. They hate repetition. And repetition teaches discipline. There is a time and a place, but it does not take 13 years of writing and repeating the same information, regurgitating all this knowledge that could be so much better formulated for kids to have a thriving childhood of joy and expression and exploration, adventure, philosophical thoughts and experiences, touching and experiencing their environment by learning it, like going into nature, taking your shoes off, going to discover bugs and the water, learn about the creeks and the trees and the sky and outer space, your own body, your biology. This is not boring stuff. This is so exciting, especially to children. The only reason we don't think it's exciting is we're repeating and going over information that it's not interesting. It's not. In school, there are those that are average, those that are above average, and those that are below average. Basically, 80% of the population is average. And 5% maybe is above and 5% is below-ish, right? We shouldn't be putting the above average into the average group. We shouldn't be putting the below average. We have all these, if kids are behind, we have so many programs, right? Well, what if a second grader can do fourth grade math? What is the program for that? Why do kids have to go through an entire year of something that they already know? Why don't we have classrooms where kids can be more organic and moving? Like, why do kids need to sit still? What's the point? Like, what's the point of sitting still? Because our joints and our bodies are meant to move. There's no reason to sit still. Like, I work on my feet. I hate sitting still. What's the point? Like, oh, well, if we sit at a desk and that's our job and we're pushing papers, that could be why. We're supposed to be able to, we're supposed to be able to do this and this. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is organic. This is what we're not supposed to just sit still. What if we want to do flips? What if we want to do cartwheels? What if we want to climb trees? These are all natural things kids want to do. Why is recess so limited? What is going on? We're teaching them to put all this. What is this? There's just not, it doesn't make any sense. And the problem I'm having personally is who's fighting for them? Who is giving a shit about how they feel, what they think about this? This is their world. Remember, if you are an adult right now, everything that we're doing is for them. Everything that we could possibly change in this world won't happen in our lifetime. Of course, you could change minor things here and there, but if you fight for something your whole life, it's going to help the next generation. It's to inspire the next generation. Muhammad Ali didn't say, no, I'm not going to your war, because he was necessarily fighting for his generation. He was fighting for what was right, regardless of what people thought. And he, generation after generation, has inspired us. People like him. We have to be different. We have to do better. We have to eat better. We have to think clearer. We cannot allow all these programs that aren't even true or aren't even part of reality. They're literally somebody's story, like somebody's narrative, somebody's story, and it's being pushed and 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 pushed, and everybody's believing it like it's real. It's absolutely nonsense. And these kids are growing up in this. Their brains, everything. We have to protect them. We have to fight for them. We have to shake it up. If we don't resist, if we keep just rolling over and taking it, do you know how much is going to happen to us? Do you know how scary it is to think, which I absolutely do not believe that we should be in fear. Do you know how scary it is to think, though, that we are tracking percentages of individuals who choose to get versus who don't want to get it? That tells you right there. They want to know how many people roll over and comply versus how many people don't. And if they can get over 50% of the population to, then that means they can turn these people against us, me, those that wish not to get it. And I really hope, like, you know what that means, right? If we can track all of this, we have instant access to communicate. We have time to connect our spirit to the source of knowledge, just like our phone can connect. Because remember, everything comes from the alchemization of the earth. We wouldn't have any of this structure, any of this society, any of this economy, the clothes on your back, the food that you eat, the bed that you sleep in, the toothbrush, the work, the job, the car, everything you have was structured based upon someone's thought from the earth. They took earth elements and created what you have. And there's no reason we can't create a better way and start something new. Teaching kids to grow up sick and scared is not the right way. Shooting them up with everything, not the right way. Feeding them GMOs, not the right way. Teaching them to put chemicals all over their body is not the right way. Telling a boy he has to have short hair because he's a boy, not the right way. Telling a boy he can't like pink. Telling a girl she can't play football. And telling a boy he can't like boys. Who, why, when, and what does it matter? If we could just accept and love people rather than judge and force our opinions on others. Why can't we just say, if you would like to get that, I accept you. You can do that. But as long as I still have my freedom and my right, as long as I can walk in this world without restriction, as long as I'm not hurting anyone, I'm not stealing, I'm not disrupting society, but I'm purposely adding to society. I'm helping, I'm contributing. Why does your judgment matter? Why does anybody's judgment upon another matter besides separation? How do we become unified? How do we teach children unity by division? Do you think that back in the day when little white kids and little black kids were separated, that at some point those kids were looking at each other like, we're all just kids. We all want to just play together. We don't care what we look like, what we smell like. We enjoy each other's company because it's fun and it's good and happy and awesome to be together, not to be separated. We have to stop the judgment. We have to teach unity, and we have to teach health, mentally, physically, and spiritually. We have to speak up for them because they don't know how to speak for themselves. I hope and pray that we can recognize that there is unity in diversity, and it's absolutely beautiful. It's all beautiful. It's so beautiful. We don't have to hate. We don't have to judge. We don't have to separate. We don't have to do anything. We just need to love. Walk out of your house, and what could you do that exhibits more love? How could you show more compassion and less fear, more joy, more happiness, more passion? What is missing? What is taking over those energies? What is weighing us down? We're pushing each generation into a pit that by the time they're old enough to make a decision that they're quote unquote adults, to finally do drugs or drink, right? Legal age to drink. We're teaching kids to grow up and do bad things to themselves. It's not bad to judge. It's bad to their bodies, to their spirits, to their mind. It's bad to smoke, right? Not that I'm judging those who smoke. I was a smoker for many years. I'm saying it's bad for your body. It's bad for your mind. It's bad for your spirit. What are we doing about that? How are we teaching and educating? Are we teaching and educating, or are we distracted by separation? We have to teach the kids unity. We have to come together. I don't care what separates us. The only separation is an illusion. So are we really following what's best for us and our children, or are we falling for some story that may not be the whole truth? I love you all. I hope we can come together. You see how that's why we do this. This is what that means. You see how we have these two hands and they come together? That's what we need to do. So thank you for watching. I really, really appreciate it. I hope you find peace. I hope something in this video can inspire you to move in a more positive and healthy direction for yourself and your family. And I believe in you. Thank you for watching. Bye.